Hi, this is Juan from JuanTutors.com. Welcome to my totally free office hours. Today we're working on the August 2016 New York Algebra 1 Common Core Regents problem 19. If you want to find these problems, you can go to nysedregents.org, click on the appropriate tabs. All the exams are freely available there. So here's the problem. What are the solutions to the equation 3x squared plus 10x equals 8? Number one, 2/3 and negative 1/4, or negative 2/3 and positive 1/4, or choice 3 is 4/3 and negative 2, or negative 4/3 and positive 2. This is the thing. This is one of those questions that really there's no reason to get it wrong if you're comfortable with this beautiful piece of equipment right here, the calculator. There's a few ways to do this question. So I'm going to do one of the methods I'm going to use is the calculator. So you can either solve for 0, isolate 0 on the right side, and then find the roots, or you could do what I'm about to do, 3x squared plus 10x. Now this value varies for various values of x, and the right side of this is 8. Okay, so this equation will be true when y1 equals y2. So if we graph this, okay, we actually see that there's intersection points here and here. And just by graphing, I can tell that the answer is probably going to be this one, because this seems very far to the left. This one seems very close to 0 but positive. But how does the calculator allow us to calculate it? Well, second calc intersect. Okay, choice 5 is intersect. And you choose the first curve. Press enter. The second curve, there's only 2 curves, so enter. And I'm going to choose that point right there. So I'm going to calculate that intersection. And 0.666 repeating, that's positive 2/3. Okay. Okay. And then the other one, second calc. Okay, second calc. Second calc. Intersect. First curve and second curve, there's only 2 curves, so I just press enter. And then I guess I go to the right and I get as close as possible to that point, and I press enter, and there it is, negative 4. Okay, negative 4. So this is possible to do on the calculator. Now I want to show you another way of doing this problem, though. It's a very important way of doing the problem. It's called, so that's method 1. 1 calculator. Graphing. Okay, and intersection points or roots occasionally, or put the or. Okay, so method 2, what I've seen a lot of teachers do and like is called the AC method. Okay, so you let a sum equal to b, okay, b, which in this case, so here's the issue. We do have to get the polynomial in standard form. I'm sorry, the quadratic in standard form. We have to isolate 0. So 3x squared plus 10x equals 8. We have to subtract 8, and we get 3x squared plus 10x minus 8 equals 0. So a equals 3, b equals 10, and c equals negative 8. Okay, so this equals b equals 10. And then we have to have also the product of the same 2 numbers equaling AC. So this equals, let's see, 3 times negative 8 equals negative 24. And let's see, so I use what's called the factor rainbow for 24, because if this really only works well, like really well, if the numbers that we plug into this are integers. If the numbers that we plug into this are not integers, then it just really gets really tough. And I wouldn't even recommend going this way. So 1 is a factor pair with 24. 2 is a factor pair with 12. 2 times 12 is 24. 3 is a factor pair with 8. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 is a factor pair with 6. 5 is not a factor of 24. 6 is already on the list, so this is the entire list of factor pairs whose product is 24 and whose values are integers. So one of these the product has to be negative 24, so one of the factor pairs has to be negative, and the sum has to be 10. Well, I see here, let's see, negative 24. Negative 24 plus 1 is negative 23. Positive 24 plus negative 1 is negative 23. Nope. Negative 12 plus 2 is negative 10. Oh, but positive 12 plus negative 2 equals positive 10. So 12 plus negative 2 and 12 times negative 2 equals 24, negative 24. So these are the two numbers we're going to use. We're going to use 12 and negative 2. How are we going to use this? 3x squared plus 10x minus 8 equals 0. We're going to use these two numbers to separate 10x into two parts. 3x squared plus 12x minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. Now, why did we do this? Because these are the magic numbers that allow us to find a factoring of this polynomial. 3x squared plus 12x has a common factor of 3x squared and 12x have a common factor of 3x. 3x times x plus 4, and then plus, and then negative 2x minus 8 has a factor pair of common factor of 2 or negative 2. In this case, I'm going to use negative 2 because I want x plus 4 to be the factor pair. And the reason I do this is because now I get a factorization 3x plus 2 by the distributive property, 3x plus, negative 2, so 3x minus 2 times x plus 4, and this is by the distributive property, this is equal to 0. Okay, so good. So now I do this, and I got the zero product property, so zero product property, okay, says this: if p times q equals 0, then p equals 0 or q equals 0. An exact value, that's something that's unique to 0. There's no such thing as a 1 product property or a 20 product property. If the product of two numbers is 20, there's not much you could say about the numbers. But here you could say the exact value of at least one of the numbers. So 3x minus 2 equals 0, or x plus 4 equals 0. And we solve these separately. Minus 4, you get x equals negative 4. And then here you get plus 2, and 3x equals 2. Divide by 3, and you get x equals 2 over 3. And those are your answers. Those are your answers that I believe is choice 1. Okay? So, as we said. So that's what it is. That's the AC method. We're going to go over another method right now. This is an extra problem that we created ourselves. If 4x squared plus 17x equals 15, then two possible values of x are 3/4 and negative 5, negative 3/4 and positive 5, 5/4 and negative 3, or negative 5/4 and positive 3. So at this point, you should definitely pause the video. Try it on your own. Any method that you want, and see if you can get it on your own. And then when you're done, you should pause the video. We're going to continue, but I do want to say that if you know anybody who could use these videos, any schoolmates, please let them know that these videos are available. Help us out also by liking the video, subscribing, and we're going to have videos in this, geometry, algebra 2, biochem, and physics, and more than that. So keep an eye out for all of that. In this case, what I'm going to use is the quadratic formula. So I remember this. So if ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, then x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so 4x squared plus 17x equals 15. We do have to have it in this form. This theorem depends on the if statement. So we have 15 on this side. We got to get rid of the 15 on this side. And 4x squared plus 17x minus 15 equals 0. A equals 4, B equals 17, and C equals negative 15. Okay, so I'm going to go through my quadratic formula now. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so we plug in. Let's see. Okay, negative b is 17 plus or minus the square root of 17b squared minus 4. A is 4. C is negative 15. Extend this. All over 2a. 2 times 4. Okay, cool. So we keep going. Negative 17 plus or minus the square root. Now, I see that all the answers are rational numbers, which means that the discriminant has to be a perfect square. So if I don't get a perfect square inside the radical, I know I did something wrong. 17 squared you could do on the calculator. Oops. 17 squared, 289. 289 minus, let's see, 4 times 4 times negative 15 is negative 240. So I'm subtracting negative 240. Subtracting negative 240 is the same thing as, okay, subtracting negative 240 is the same thing as adding 240. Okay, so 289 plus 240. Cool. Okay, is 529. Over 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, let's scroll a little bit. Okay, equals negative 17 plus or minus the square root of 529 over 8. Let's see, equals negative 17 plus or minus, what's the square root of 589? Second. I'm sorry, I have to take a little, believe it or not, I am colorblind. So I actually can't see the square root button, but I'm going to guess it's right there. And then I'll change the color of the calculator after this video. Sorry for the little delay. I'm actually really colorblind, red-green colorblind. 529 is 23. 23 over 8. Sorry, I'm not going to redo this video just for that little pause. So, okay, so the answers are negative 17 plus 23 over 8 and negative 17 minus 23 over 8, which we just have to calculate. Oops. Negative 17 plus 23, 23 minus 17 is 6 over 8, and negative 17 minus 23 is negative 40 over 8. And 6 over 8 is 3 over 4. And then negative 40 over 8, that's just a straight division, negative 5. And so these are your answers. That's it. That better appear as one of the choices, 3/4 and negative 5. And look at that, it's choice 1. So that is our answer. We can check our answer by plugging in negative 5. Negative 5 squared is positive 25 times 4 is 100. Okay, 17 times negative 5 is negative 85. 100 plus negative 85 is 15, which is what we should expect. So this is correct. Okay, listen, I know you can do it. Keep working at it. Stay tuned for the next video starting right now.